My first job was when Saks Fifth Avenue in Bell Harbor was opening in 1976. And that was a great time to be in the fashion industry. It was also a time when Saks Fifth Avenue was starting to develop designer boutiques and designer brands that were being introduced into the United States. And I was very fortunate to work when we were launching the Armani and Versace boutiques at the store before they had independent boutiques. And again, that propelled me back into New York City and ongoing exposure to New York and culture on a much different level that was available here in Miami. And it also involved the fashion industry and creativity and people that were at the top of their form. That to me was another eye-opener of culture, New York, fashion. You know, I was very, very lucky. After that, I went into marketing for insurance companies, and I found that to be extremely dull and boring, and it did not have any creativity. I was not dealing in any shape or form with art and artistry, etc. And there was an opening at the City of Miami Beach for the entertainment industry liaison. At that time, if you recall, the fashion industry was very big in Miami Beach. It was just launching. I mean, there were fashion shoots on every corner. Bruce Weber was here, Madonna was here. So it was really a golden age of the fashion photo shoot industry in Miami. And the city recognized the need for having someone that was involved with the fashion and industry and the entertainment industry. We were also at that time opening up a lot of entertainment industry-based companies in Lincoln Road and in Miami Beach. I mean, we had MTV Latin America, we had a lot of the cable channels, we had a lot of the different type of music companies, all of it really focusing on Latin America. And that job became open. I became the entertainment industry liaison. I was liaising with all of the above. There were film shoots, fashion shoots. We started doing a lot of music award shows. The first MTV Latin America Music Award Show, I was the city's representative on that at the Fillmore Theater. And then they did the MTV Award Show at the American Airlines. I was also working on that for those shows. That again, the connection goes back to New York. MTV was based in New York, so again, I'm always having references to New York City in whatever career I'm in. And I thought that was exciting and thrilling. And I remember, as part of being involved in trade shows and events at the convention center, Mira Rubel, we were at a brunch for Art Miami in 1999, and she introduced me to Lorenzo Rudolph. Lorenzo Rudolph at that time was the director of Art Basel in Switzerland, and he had been coming to Miami during Art Miami to scope and scout the location for the launching of Art Basel Miami Beach, which took place in 2001. So I developed a very close relationship with Lorenzo. We started having meetings at the city with all of the people from the convention center and the Convention and Visitors Bureau and everything that goes into launching an event of that scale. Unfortunately, due to 9/11, the show for 2001 was scaled back tremendously. But then the show went full on in 2002, and it kept expanding. And then the city made me the representative for Art Basel, the liaison between them and the government. And that continued for quite a few years. And then in 2004, they offered me the job of being the Art and Public Places Administrator, which is the position that I currently hold. And again, being with Art Basel, it brought art front and center into me. We would have annual visits to Art Basel in Switzerland, where we would go with an official delegation of the mayor and other elected officials. The city of Miami Beach had a booth at Art Basel in Switzerland where I would man the booth and we would provide information for visitors coming to Miami Beach for the fair, and that included everything from hotels, restaurants, and that was a joint effort between the City of Miami Beach and the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau. I don't even remember how many years I did that. I think I started going there in 2002, and the last year I went was in 2018. And that continued the ongoing exposure. Again, more New York, because so many of the galleries that I was working with were New York based, and developed relationships with them. They were coming to Miami Beach. They would have all different types of questions they needed help with that the city would provide, special events that they were doing. Our office would be permitting that. And that continued until I then became the Art and Public Places Administrator in 2004. And then I started working on finishing the commissions of works that were already in the pipeline and starting to do calls to artists for new art projects and working within the ordinance and the Art and Public Places Committee in starting to do site-specific works for the city of Miami Beach. The collection started in 1979. The first work was by Roy Lichtenstein titled The Mermaid. That work sits on the lawn of what then was the Jackie Gleason Theater. Now it's called the Fillmore Theater. And that was the first outdoor public sculpture by Lichtenstein. A group of residents raised $100,000, and it is an iconic work of art. It sits there, it is beautiful, it speaks about Miami Beach, it talks to Miami Beach. It's a mermaid lying in a pool with the sun and a palm tree. I mean, you can reference that to art history, and it's really a reclining odalisque. But again, it is a work that speaks specifically to our community. And one of the things that, if you look at the collection all the way back from '79 to the present, where we now have 19 works, all of the works are site-specific. They speak to who we are as a community. They speak to the history, the geography, the architecture, the iconography, everything that makes Miami Beach who we are as a community. And you see this ongoing theme of the works these artists are commissioning. They relate to water, they relate to us being an island, they relate to Art Deco, they relate to the sea. And now with the latest group of works that are just being opened at the Miami Beach Convention Center, there's a new work coming up that's going to be installed later this year by Elmgren and Draxit titled Bent Pool. Well, a pool is one of these features that Miami Beach is known for. I mean, you have the pool at the Raleigh, the pool at the Fontainebleau, other works that we have here at the Convention Center, one by France Ackerman, a mural. The subtext of that mural is globalism and tourism. I mean, tourism is the #1 economy in Miami Beach. We have another work by Joseph Kasuth, and it's called Located World Miami Beach, which is in the west lobby of the Convention Center. And that work specifically addresses the proximity of other cities in the world and its relationship in miles to the city of Miami Beach. Another work that is done by Joop van Lieshout along the Collins Canal relates to nature and the evolution and how we have this organic involvement with the sea and canals and how that incorporates into the landscape. And there's 9 sculptures that he did. We have another work being done by Sarah Morris. The work is titled Morris Lapidus. That's an obvious connection to a very important architect in our community who made what we consider mid-century and MIMO architecture so well known around the world. And then I'm sitting in front of a work by Ellen Harvey, Brooklyn-based artist. The work that she did is titled Atlantis. It's 10 feet in height, 100 feet in length. And the work is all about Miami Beach's connection to all the bodies of water. The work expands from the Atlantic Ocean through Miami-Dade County, through the Everglades, and it ends on the west coast in the Gulf of Mexico. If you look at the work, it also has a significant resonance to how water, sea level rise, all of those issues that we're dealing with today are here. And the work is titled Atlantis. I think that's obvious why she titled the work as it is. And it took her 1 year of painting each tile that is behind me. She did that in her studio in Brooklyn. And then the work itself are now mouth-blown glass that was fabricated by Meyer of Munich. And she created a subsurface of paint that she put on it. And as you can see, you can look at South Florida from coast to coast. I think it's a spectacular work of art. It speaks to exactly who we are, to our place, our geography, and it addresses a critical issue of South Florida, which is sea level rise.